Hey guys, what's up? I'm here today with my friend Oscar.
Hey guys.
And the reason he's here is because today we're going to take a look at 10 of the best co-op JRPGs. And by co-op, I mean local co-op. That means the two of us together in the same place with our controllers, the same console, the same TV. That means no portable or multiplayer or online co-op mode. Just local like old times.
Yeah, old school co-op, that's what we are going to play.
That's right. Alright, it's gonna be a two-part video because believe it or not, there are more than 20 co-op JRPGs. That's right.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Now you do. Alright, let's get to it. Number 10. Blackstone, Magic and Steel. Blackstone is an action RPG that takes elements from the Gauntlet series to deliver a multiplayer experience. As a single-player game, it did not fare well in the industry. It was just boring and its simple mechanics were mostly repetitive. As a co-op adventure, however, including the fact that it can be played by 4 players, it's actually quite fun. Sure, you would still find a mediocre story with almost zero character development, but a satisfactory gameplay with cool graphics and a kick-ass soundtrack. As an exclusive for the Xbox, this one should be available for those who own the system, and for a very decent price since this game is quite cheap, as a matter of fact. So check this out with a friend or two if you can, since it is indeed an enjoyable game. Number 9. Final Fantasy 3 or 6. If you want to play one of the best RPGs on the Super Nintendo, also known as Final Fantasy 6, which was actually available as well on the PlayStation alongside Final Fantasy 5, then what could go wrong with a friend? Believe it or not, this game has a 2-player co-op mode. Oscar and I played the PS1 version, and all we did was configure the controls on the menu. It can feel weird at the beginning, since there's barely any difference, visually speaking, that can show you who's playing who, but if you and your partner pay attention to the attack waiting bar all the time, there should be no problem. Nevertheless, the cooperative mode is only available during battle, which means player 1 will still play most of the game, including running around, buying stuff and talking to people. However, it's still worth it and fun to play, so go grab a beer together before you play one of the best Final Fantasy games ever made in a 2-player mode. Number 8. Final Fantasy 9. Yes, this one can also be played by 2 different people in a local co-op mode. This is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time, and battles are more dynamic, in my opinion, than all of its predecessors. If we add the fact that 2 people can simultaneously play it, at least only during battles, it becomes even more fun. Just go to the configuration menu where it says Battle Controls and you'll be able to assign characters to each controller. Unfortunately, like I said before, only during battles can the second player participate. But with an amazing game like this, that should be no problem. These 2 Final Fantasy titles are among the best in the franchise, so they should be higher on the list, I know. But we're judging only the multiplayer experience, and since it's technically kept to a minimum, they stay on number 9 and 8 respectively. Either way, the fact that you can play an old-school turn-based Final Fantasy game with a friend is reason enough to join the fun. Number 7. Code of Princess EX. This is a port of the original on the Nintendo 3DS, and an awesome one by the way, because you can now play it with a friend in a 2-player co-op mode. That's right, this action RPG with strong beat-em-up elements can be played by you and someone else at the same time, only during battles of course, but battles are the core of this game since there's no exploration or navigation of any kind, which means the second player will be playing most of the time. Now, it doesn't work just like your everyday beat 'em up. Characters need to be moving through the horizontal layers in order to damage their enemies. Coordinating these moves with your pal, along with the many different attacks and skills, is the key to beat the game together and fully enjoy the experience. Number 6. Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. Most Tales of games can be played up to 4 players, so there will be quite a few in these 2 top 10s. Let's start with the Symphonia games, originally released on the GameCube and the Wii respectively. My co-op mode was on the PS3 however, so that's the version I can talk about. First, open the menu and go to the Arts or Text section so you can change the character's hue as the first player won't use. There, switch the second, third and fourth players, depending on how many friends will join you in this quest, to manual mode. That should be enough to let them participate in battle. Trust me, since these are long-ass RPGs, best thing you can do is play it with only one more person, but I'm guessing a 4-player adventure is nothing short of fun. Now, in my opinion, the battle system in Symphonia 2 is superior because you aren't locked into a 2.5D layout, letting you run around the battle scene freely. As you can see though, the camera goes higher than normal in order to allow the other player or players to see everything that's going on. Whereas in single player mode, the camera always tries to focus on the character being manually controlled. This was no issue for us, so I hope it doesn't present any issue for any of you. Number 5. Secret of Mana. The original version of Secret of Mana on the Super Nintendo is a 3-player co-op mode. It was actually one of the main features of the game that contributed to its success. I always found the controls and the battle system in the game a little clunky, but fun nonetheless. However, for some reason a cooperative mode always felt more enjoyable. The remake on the PS4 did not fare well with critics, and when I first played it, I started to agree with them. But once me and Oscar figured out how to get our first party member, it was totally worth it. So yeah, I vouch for the remake, at least if only for its local co-op mode. And yes, the second player can also move around freely in towns and maps in this top-view action RPG. Therefore, I strongly recommend playing this game, either version, with at least one friend. Don't forget that Seiken Densetsu 3, also known as Secret of Mana 2, can also be played by 3 people. Number 4. Tales of Vesperia. Let's continue on with more Tales of games. Vesperia is among the all-time favorites of many different gamers out there. The version we played was the original on the Xbox 360, so I can't vouch for the definitive edition, though I imagine things are better even in cooperative gameplay there. Just like the Symphonia titles, this one can be arranged in the same way, through the Arts menu, and it goes to show on battle with the camera turning into an overview position. Like I explained before, this is so the other players can see everything just fine without the camera focusing on the first player's character. It will obviously take you guys a while to properly adapt to these new features, especially depending on the characters available at the beginning of the game. But once you get used to it, it becomes a rather pleasant experience. Number 3. Eternal Sonata. Yep, believe it or not, this excellent game on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 also offers a local co-op mode with 3 players simultaneously. Yep, both versions. Nothing changes here, however, like the camera or the positioning of the characters, since it's mostly turn-based, and that means the camera focuses on the character being controlled during that turn. Just go to the settings and adjust the controllers there to apply the cooperative mode. Now, I've always praised this game to death, truly, so imagine what's the 2 or 3 player mode like. Of course it's awesome, and it's something that you'll enjoy no matter what if you and your friends are into it. Nonetheless, just like other games in this list, the players can only join during battle. All navigation will be played by player 1. But that shouldn't stop you from playing this game with a friend and enjoying the heck out of it. Number 2. Tales of Grace's F. Considering this one has one of the weirdest battle systems in the entire series, it should come off as a surprise it's so high on this list. I read in forums that it was among the best Tales of to be played in co-op mode, and I couldn't wait to know if that was true or not. When Oscar and I played it, we immediately noticed it. Yes, creating combos and beating your enemies up is still different from all the other Tales of, but for some reason it was more fluid and satisfactory to do it with a friend. Also, it's a really long game with a beautiful story and a big challenge there for you and your buddies to enjoy or suffer together. This is, in my opinion, one of the hardest Tales of ever made, but my god was it great in a local co-op mode. Seriously, try it out with someone else, it'll be worth a shot and you'll understand too why it's among the best out there when it comes to multiplayer. Number 1. Dragon's Crown. This was a no-brainer. The entire game can be played with 2 people, even in shops, even in town. After all, its big influence from the beat-em-ups, Dungeons and Dragons is all over the place. In those games, the multiplayer experience was superb and active most of the time. In Dragon's Crown, it translated pretty good and it became one of the very best co-op mode RPGs I've ever played in my life. It can also be played by up to 4 players at the same time, and also online by the way. But the local experience is all there to define the word fun in this heavily action-packed masterpiece. Now the PS4 version obviously looks better, although the differences in everything else are not easy to recognize, which means you'll be totally fine playing either version of the game with a friend, or with multiple friends, or even online if you want to. Whatever the case, Dragon's Crown takes the first place on this list for being the best out there when it comes to local co-op mode. So that's it guys, that's it. Those are 10 great co-op JRPGs. Well, some of them are not that great, but hey, there's less than 30 JRPGs that can be played in co-op mode, so it's something, right? So how do you feel about this?
Well, exhausted, but also I enjoyed the experience. To be sincere with you, I never played an RPG or a JRPG on co-op mode, and it was really good, a nice experience. And well, I really liked it. I like both action RPGs or turn-based RPGs. I think that the Tales series is specialized on this kind of gameplay, and I like it a lot. I also liked Eternal Sonata. I also like Final Fantasy 6 or 3 or whatever you want to call it. And even I also enjoyed this last game that we played, which is a remake of the Secret of Mana. It was also really good, and well, I think it's a good thing to play in co-op with someone else in the couch.
That's right, Secret of Mana, we all know it's kind of a lame remake. A lot of people didn't like it, but in co-op mode, it's decent, it's kind of good, it's playable at least, and enjoyable. That's most important. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and do not miss the next video, which is going to be part 2 with 10 more co-op JRPGs. Alright, see you next time.